Just review what I just told you. So when you are moving a decimal and you're changing it to a percent, then you are going to move your decimal to the right 2 places. For example, if you have 0.37, you're going to move your decimal to the right because this is your right. Boom, boom, and that makes it 37%. Okay? But if you just would have 0.3, you're still going to move it 2 places. And you have to annex a 0, which makes it 30%. Okay? If you have a percent and you're changing it to a decimal, then you're going to move the decimal 2 places to the left. Okay? For example, let's say you have 45%. And you always know that 45 is really the whole number. And so the decimal lies right here. So you're going to move it to the left this time, which is this way, which makes it 0.45. Okay? Now, let's say that we would have 4%. Okay? And we're going to move our decimal still to the left, and you're still going to go 2 places. And it would be 0.04 is your new decimal. Yes?
I need an eraser.
Okay, get one. All right, now let's move on. I'm going to draw a chart here, guys, and we're going to look at this chart. I am not an artist, but follow along with me. Thank you.
It's really good.
All right, so here we're going to have our percent. Here we're going to have a fraction. Here we're going to have decimal and the ratio. Okay? Now, let's start with 63%. Okay, so if I was going to write 63% as a fraction, how would I write that? Seth?
6,300.
63 over 100, right? Now, our textbook wants us to reduce that fraction. So, how could 63 over 100 be reduced? Yes. Quickly, and then come right back. So, could 63 be reduced? Can 63 be divided by 2?
No.
I didn't choose a very good number. Let's go back and choose a number other than 60.
How about 58?
Let's go.
That's in the book.
Well, I don't want to do that one, but, you know, good try. How about we go with 60? Let's go with 60, okay? So 60, which goes, your fraction is 60 over 100. Can you reduce that?
Yes.
Okay, to what?
By 3.
Well, we know that we can go,
4.
just ignore that. We know that we can go
4.
4 how? How many times will 4 go into 60?
4 can go into 40 10 times. And 4 can go into 25 times, so it's...
How about 60? You got to go into 60 evenly as well.
Yes, I know. 40 plus 20 is 60, so 15 times.
Okay, so you're saying, okay. So 4 divided into 60.
I did that utterly.
I know. You're doing great, okay? And you are right. So that would be 15 over, I'm just giving you a recap here of how to divide. So if I'm, divide this one by 4, I'm going to divide this one by 4, which is 25. Can it go any further?
Yes.
It can. To what?
You could have just divided it by
3
20.
over 4.
Okay, let him answer. And it's okay if you have to divide a few times, but you always want to look at your final answer and say, is that in lowest terms? And if it's not, and that's why I went with this, because I want you to see.
Over 5,
and it would be 3/5. Okay, and that would be your answer here.
Wait,
So let's go back and recap, okay? Hold on, raise your hand if you want to speak, but we're starting with 60%. We changed it to a fraction, which always goes 60/100, and then you reduce it, okay? And that becomes an equivalent fraction, or it becomes a proportion, because what is a proportion? A proportion is two ratios that equal, okay? Yes.
I'm not doing this, but looking at it. So on number 1, for 58, you would put 58 for a fraction over 100.
Yes, but don't do that yet, okay? Now hold on, we're going to move to a decimal. So now I'm going to change 60% to a decimal, okay? I'm just going to put it right here. And when I'm changing a percent to a decimal, I'm moving my decimal 2 places to the left,
Are you kidding me?
which that is my answer there. Put that away.
I was looking everywhere for this.
Now, ratio. So our ratio here would be what?
58 to 100.
Actually, you're going to use the reduced form, which is 3/5 in this case. Okay?
Smart.
This is the same thing you're doing in the book, and don't work ahead and do that because I want to make sure that you guys understand it. Okay? Let's just do another one here, and let's do 50%. Okay? It makes it easy, but you can understand. So if I'm going to write that over a fraction, that would be what, Sadie? Which also equals what? 1/2. Good job, Sadie. Now I'm going to change I'm going to change 50% to a decimal, and I'm going to do that by moving my decimal to the left 2 places, which makes it 0.50. What is my ratio?
5.
1 to 2.
Oh, 1 to 2.
Okay? Yes.
Oh, I get it because.
Yes, you may. Sadie?
Would it matter how you did the ratio?
In this case, you want to do the lowest terms, okay? Because you're reducing the fraction, so you want to do it in lowest terms, okay? Let's do not work ahead, okay?
I know how you get it.
We should do
because
25.
You divide it
We're not going to do 25
by
yet,
100. So you got
I
1
could've
half
gone
of
for
it.
okay? Now, let's go ahead and look at our chart in our book. And we're going to go ahead and do number 1 together, or actually it's A. And A is 58%, okay? So we're going to change it to the fraction. You're going to do this with me at the same time, but in your book. Don't talk out. Decimal and ratio, okay? So I have 58%, and I'm going to change that to a fraction, which makes it go 58/100. Eli, what does that reduce to? You don't know? I bet you do know. It will reduce to something. Yes.
Is it 2950?
It is 29/50. Now, remember when you do your decimal, you're using the original number, original percent, which is 50, forget that bell. So I always like to draw my dips. It helps me to know if I need to annex or whatever. So now my decimal is 0.58, and my ratio is 29/50, and you need to write it like that. Okay? Any questions there? Now, do you remember if you have,
What's the ratio? 2950?
29/50? Yes, remember that if you have, if you have 1/20th, how would you change that to a decimal?
Well,
Okay, hold on, raise your hand, yes.
how would you change 1/20th to a decimal
Uh-huh.
point?
Well, don't tell me the answer. How do you do it? Because you might be able to do it in your head. I'm going to divide. Remember we did this?
Oh, yeah.
Move your decimal up. Will 20 go into 10? No, but it will go into 100. How many times? 5. So my decimal form here is 0.05. Yep. Now what is, if I have 0.05 and I want to change that to a percent, what would my percent be? 5%. That's right. Okay? All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do page 103, and I'll be here to answer any questions. You're going to do all of 103 of 1 through, let's just do all of 1 through 4. 5, we may do that together, but all of 1 through 4 on your own, okay? We're going to work on that right now.